Hi everybody! I wanted to pop on here and do, wow, the lighting's really, I always have issues with the lighting, but I wanted to say hello, and I wanted to talk about the full moon, and I wanted to see how you guys are all feeling with these kind of chaotic energies around, and we're building to the full moon. So if you didn't know that, the full moon is on Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day, and there is just so many transits happening right now that are making things a little bit chaotic. So if you're wondering why things feel weird, that's what's happening. And we also want to be aware that whenever Uranus and Mars are playing together, especially when they're squaring each other, can be sudden, shocking changes, things changing moment to moment, being really cautious and aware when you're driving, and being aware of the roads and who's around you, and especially on a holiday weekend. I'm just hearing back from a lot of people that, accidents can be taking place. So being aware of that. And I also have noticed we have some things happening with Venus. We have a grand trine getting lit up in the sky, and that's coming into fruition really around the full moon. And that grand trine is lighting up Jupiter and Scorpio. And so if you've noticed I don't even know his name. I don't even want to say his name. That lame guy with that lit up the Me Too movement. Thankfully, all these beautiful women speaking up. He got arrested, right? And I think he even is out already. But whatever. That's Jupiter and Scorpio. Jupiter and Scorpio is all of us. Going to the depths. I have YouTube videos about Jupiter and Scorpio you should check out. I do a house by house because it's there till the fall. So that's getting lit up. We have Cancer. We have Venus in Cancer. So our love, our energy, our emotions are really set to this protective energy, and understanding where we've kind of been blocking ourselves because we've been doing self-protective techniques when really we should be opening our heart, right? And so we have those two aspects, and they're trining Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is the dreamiest of the dream. And so if you're feeling a little floaty, if you're feeling late for things, today, tomorrow will probably be happening. And so just being aware that there's these spiritual and these dreamy aspects that are getting lit up right now, along with the harsh, quick, sudden changers of Mars and Uranus. So seriously slow down this weekend. Barbecues are great. Don't be out driving if you've had a drink or two, and being aware of your surroundings. And I'm getting lots of funny texts from people because just so much is happening for people. So I just want to remind you to just slow down, take it easy, and look at where, if you have your chart, look at where Sagittarius is for you. I have so many Sag friends. I have Shannon, I don't know if you're on still, but I think you have a Sagittarius moon. So a lot of my sisters Sagittarius, and my a lot of my friends have Sag moons or are Sagittarius. What is it? That's so funny. I just realized how many people I know. So this is your moon. So you might be finding that you're having lots of fun this weekend. You might be finding that you want to connect with people and talk with people, and that's great. Also being aware of what is available around learning and growing and expanding our minds. When the sun is in Gemini, it can be kind of quick movement, fast movement. We want to be aware of not gossiping. We want to be aware of slowing down a little bit and checking in with ourselves. And so you want to know where Gemini is in your chart and where Sag is. So the sun's, with the full moon on Tuesday, the sun is in Gemini and the moon is in Sagittarius. So where is this in your chart? So let's do a house by house. But first I want to make sure I caught all the, I don't have my chart up. Okay. So before I do the house by house, so we have Mars and Uranus squaring each other. We have Mars trining the sun and trining Mercury. So the moving forward in communication and things changing and shifting really quickly with the sun trining Mars. So just being aware of what you're speaking, if you're speaking your truth, and being open to hard lessons might be coming through right now. And it all can change so quickly, so don't get too down on yourself. Don't get too worked up about those changes. So I just want to remind you of those things. And let's see, I talked about the grand water trine. So in my Instagram, if you follow me on my Instagram post, I was talking about the mermaids and the rise of the mermaids. And, you know, any babies that are born at this time just have so much mermaid energy or merman energy. And there's nothing more powerful than mermen. Let's just be honest. They're like the sexiest beings on the planet in my eyes. So where am I going? Okay, so the moon is trining the north node. We have Mars opposing the north node. The north node is where we're being called to go. It's our dharma, and right now it's in Leo. And so we want to be aware that there's this push-pull between our past and our future, and just being aware of when we're acting in ways that are aligning us with our future, or are we acting in ways that align us with our past? That's what I want to know. And then with the moon trining the north node, letting our emotions guide us, checking in with your body, checking in with what you're feeling. What are you feeling in your belly? What are you feeling in your heart? What's coming up for you? These are all good opportunities to do this during this time, okay? And not getting reactive. I can't tell you how many times I've been triggered in the last 3 days, but it's important to be in this place of realizing that it's happening and then checking in with your body, okay? So if you have Sagittarius in your first house, so when you're looking at your chart, you see Sag in the first house, this full moon is going to be illuminating and lighting up your identity as a being that's open and willing to see other sides, other points of view, that is willing to share what you have as a teacher and as a student, just a student of life and learning. And so depending on what planets are there for you, this is going to influence this. But the first house is the house of I am. It's a fire house. So there's going to be some transformation happening for you if you have Sagittarius in the first house and the full moons in your first house. Second house, sorry, I didn't have anywhere to put my phone down, so it's all if you have Sagittarius in the second house, this full moon's happening in the second house, there's definitely going to be transformation and shifts around your personal finances, the way you're viewing money, the way you're viewing your personal finances. This is a great time to work with me because this opportunity is so rich and available to you to do some big changes and transformations around your belief system, around your boundaries, and around your personal space and way you think about this aura of yours. So, and then the third house, if you have Sag in the third house, wow, you're a busy little bee, and this full moon is going to be lighting up communication, really being aware of gossip and really being aware of how you're communicating, when you need to take breaks from communicating. Maybe you just need to write a letter and never send it to a person, but changes and shifts around your communication might be coming up. Fourth house, if you have Sag in the fourth house, if you have 8 degrees, I forgot to say, so it's 8 degrees of Sag. So you want to look where 8 degrees of Sagittarius is in your chart. If it is in the fourth house, this is going to be changes and awareness around the home and how you want to feel at home in an expanded space. You might be like redoing some things at home to make more space. You might be purging, might be clearing, and that's all good stuff. If you're having Sagittarius, 8 degrees of Sagittarius in your fifth house, your fifth house is your creativity and your opportunities to feel fresh, new, revitalized energy in your creations, in your it's like the house of the muse, so romance, children, but it's not actually like parenting, or it's not actually partnership. It's just that romantic notion of those things. So it's a very creative house, and you can be working on your creations. You might have awareness about things that you want to create. You might have awareness around things that need to change and shift so that you can create. Sixth house, if you have Sagittarius full moon and 8 degrees of Sagittarius happening in your sixth house, you're definitely going to be wanting to work on your day-to-day routines, rhythms, and rituals that make you feel inspired and happy. Like maybe you have some old routines that aren't working for you anymore. It's time to reboot. It's time to figure out some new ways of connecting to source, connecting to spirit through your routines day to day. If you have Sagittarius in your seventh house, this is house of partnership, business partnership, and then also romantic partnership. And so if you have this happening, you want to be aware things might be coming to the surface, or your awareness around your partnership and where you want to feel more fun, and maybe you want to travel together, or maybe you want to plan a trip, or maybe you want to communicate about things that need to be worked so that you can travel through the mind to new places in your relationship. Sagittarius in the 8th house. Sagittarius in the 8th house. This is in your 8th house and 8 degrees of Sag, you're going to want to be aware of changes and transformations around. There's just going to be a small death happening, just a small death of your ego or yourself, parts of yourself that don't need to be around anymore, happening. And this might be through connection with others. You might have some conflict or some things coming up with others that are making you see where you need to, or where you want to shift and let parts of you go so that you can feel more free. Because Sagittarius is all about freedom. That's like the main theme. So what needs to go so that you can feel free? Ninth house Sagittarius, it's its home house. It's its home house. Ninth house Sagittarius, if you have the full moon happening here, 8 degrees of Sag happening here, then you're going to have changes and shifts to how you expand your mind. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe things are coming to your awareness about wanting to be a teacher, wanting to teach, wanting to learn, wanting to be in a higher education. Maybe you want to study astrology with me. Maybe you want to learn intuitive development with me. I'm starting a class next week. So you might just be noticing things that you want to learn, or think where you want to get some more books, or maybe you want to travel. Maybe you want to go to India for a month or something. Let me know, because I want to hear about it. And if you have Sagittarius in the 10th house, this is house of work in the world. So there might be changes and shifts and awareness around where you want freedom and expansion in your work in the world. And so that's if the full moon's happening in your 10th house. 11th house is community. It's moving community forward. And if you have Sagittarius here, it's really shedding a light. The moon, our internal awareness, and the sun shining on it is shedding a light onto where you need to communicate more effectively and have more awareness around what other people need in terms of your communication, and in terms of your ability to see other points of view. Maybe you're learning something new this full moon, and maybe you have something to share. So maybe you're the one bringing inspiration and change to groups. If you have Sagittarius in the 12th house, so this is 12th house full moon for you, this is going to be an interesting time. You're definitely going to notice a pull or a draw towards maybe having some reflective time this weekend. And hi, Jessie. And I'm talking about the full moon that's going to be happening on Tuesday, and we're already feeling the influences of it building. You might want to go watch the beginning of this. And then, so the 12th house is going to be bringing Sagittarius energy, which is expansion and freedom, into your spiritual awareness, into the unseen, into your dream life. As I mentioned, Neptune's really lit up right now, so you're really going to be feeling some dreamy energy this full moon, and that's okay, and that's lovely, and there's going to be things that might come to your consciousness around that. So there's the house by house for the full moon, and I'm just going to read one more thing. This is by Elias Longsdale, and this is the 8th degree of Sagittarius, where the full moon is happening on Tuesday. And it says, when chaos joins forces with hard and heavy, dense frequencies, we are in for exceedingly difficult journey. The feeling level is depressive and anguish susceptible. So watch out for that. The energies are chaotic and almost random. The result is an undercurrent, an undertow that is vicious. And this is so present. I feel like so many people are feeling that undercurrent trying to take them down. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Those dense energies are not going to win. So funny. I didn't read this, and it totally goes along with what I was just talking about in my Instagram post about the Grand Trine. All seems hopeless. The situation contains no relief in sight. In the thick of this dilemma, a momentum toward the future is being seeded in one of two directions. Either you are condemning yourself to grim and forbidding territory as a form of self-punishment for being so far off, or you are preparing the way for a change of heart toward compassion and forgiveness. Even for your own greatest weakness. It all depends upon whether you can allow in a spiritual light of redemption for the worst, or whether instead your mind is made up and another round of no nourishment at all is in order for the one who is lost and now has no way back. That is, until you let the light in to this terrible darkness and radically relent your judgmental stance. Holy crap, I did not read all of that until just now, but it is totally how people are explaining this week and how moving into the full moon, what's being illuminated. So do not go to the past. Do not go to the old ways. We're creating a new way, and do not let the undercurrent, the undertow of these denser energies try to pull you down. Have a beautiful week, and if you want to work with me, I'm available next week. So I have a few openings. I have no idea when. I have to look at my schedule, but if you want your chart read, or if you want to do an intuitive healing, or if you want to take my class with me, which is going to be so fun, you're going to learn so many tools for success in your life, all about tuning into yourself and meditating and creating this awareness of, you know, our being and who we are meant to be here on this planet. So if you're interested in any of that, just click the link below, and I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weekend, and stay high vibe, stay connected to source, and get out in nature if you can. Bye.